Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy if you're new here. In today's video, I'm gonna answer all of your questions that you had for me since early June. I am so sorry that I wasn't able to film this Q&A because I got sick. I felt pretty sick in June. It was my first time getting a cold in years. And by the time I started healing, it triggered my lupus. And then I caught a second cold around my birthday. So yeah, it was not fun. I'm finally back and making regular content. By the way, I am in a slightly new setup. I'm in the middle of rearranging a few things in the room because I got a new desk. This table is from Flexispot and you can buy it on Amazon, and I did receive it as a gift. So I wanted to give it a quick shout out. If you're looking for a standing desk or if you're looking to change your workspace, you might want to consider this one. I'm gonna have it linked down below. So this desk is by Flexispot and it's called the electric standing desk with USB-A and USB-C port. It also features a built-in drawer, which is so amazing. I chose the smallest size available because I am working with quite limited space. You will need help to assemble it, so good thing my husband was pretty handy. And so here you can see that we had just finished assembling it. It's still in the corner of the room. The main frame of the table is all metal. There are 4 preset heights that you can adjust. I will tell you that this table is sturdy. You can definitely feel the weight. The box was pretty huge when they delivered it, so definitely you will need help assembling it. The load capacity is an impressive 110 pounds, so I just did it for fun to show you guys. I'm just about 110 pounds, so I sat on the table just to test it out. So I already have the presets 1 and 2 at the lowest and the highest setting. Definitely does what it says and it's pretty strong. So here you can see I pressed 2 to go all the way up, and then I pressed 1 to go back all the way down, and it worked. I've been doing my luxury live show live stream podcast for over, I don't even remember, for over 4 years. Sitting for 2+ hours and I can't move or go to the washroom or just basically get circulation going has been really difficult, and I've been doing it for so long that I have been thinking of getting a standing desk so that I can sometimes just stand up when I want to and sit down when I want to. I might also look into a walking treadmill or walking pad, I think they call it, but at the very least my setup will become a little bit more dynamic. Anyway, go check it out. I'll have all the info linked down below. We'll start off with Dr. Pur Times Question. Are you still shopping with Hermes or are you on pause until you get your quota bag? This question is super interesting because when you asked the question, that was back in, I think it was on May 30th, that's when I posted. At that time, I was actually on pause. So it has indeed been over 2 years as of today, the day of filming this video, that I am still waiting on another offer. I did receive a Constance in 2024. In any case, for Canada, when you receive a bag, it does delay your next offer. So it doesn't matter that it is a quota bag or non-quota bag, it will delay your next offer. So yeah, just to get back to your question, I was on pause back in May, June-ish, but then it was my birthday in July, even though it was a horrible birthday, like I mentioned. Anyway, I was so sick. I just felt like, oh my gosh, I couldn't catch a break. I felt like all summer long it felt like eternity. And I'm still just getting better because I still do have some lupus inflammation. As you probably saw on the table footage, my knees are very, very swollen. I do still have some sort of flare going on. But anyway, because it was my birthday in July, I just felt like I needed to reward myself. So I still am buying things. I'm not technically on pause anymore, but yeah, still waiting for my quota offer. From Vev Love, have you ever visited the Hermes store in Calgary? No, I haven't. So in Canada, those of you who are not in Canada, we only have a very few stores. And Canada is pretty big, right? We have a store in Montreal, we have a store in Toronto, and then I think the next store is in Calgary. And then the last store, I believe, is in Vancouver. So I think there are only 4 Hermes stores throughout the whole Canada. I'm pretty sure there's only 4. So very limited. If you don't live near a city, like one of these metropolitan cities that have an Hermes store, then it's pretty hard to do a journey. But yeah, to get back to your question, I've never visited the Calgary store because I think the last time I went to Calgary was when I just moved to Vancouver. So it was like 2010. I visited one of my colleagues who also relocated to the west side of Canada, and she relocated to Calgary. So I visited with her, and that was the only time that I went to Calgary. But no, I haven't visited your store yet. But I would love to, because I do have subscribers that do their journeys there, and I don't want to say it's easier, but it does not seem or does not feel as intense as Vancouver. From Stacy NYU, and I think this is a duplicate question as Joe as well, Joe Overjoyed. What new ready-to-wear do you like from the fall Hermes collection? And so yeah, Joe has a similar question. What ready-to-wear are you looking to add? So I did end up buying some, which I guess you guys will just have to wait for my unboxing. I just have to find time to film and to do all the try on. Generally speaking, for the fall collection, I did like the pop of pink that they had going on. I also loved one of the cashmere coat, one of the longer cashmere coat. I do remember reviewing the fall collection on the Luxury Life show, but it's always different when it comes to what you see on the runway versus what you get in store. So unless you go to your store frequently after the collection launches, it's pretty hard to get all the pieces that you have in mind. It's sort of, if you're lucky, you might even get it in your size, or if the stock is still available, because they obviously don't order in many sizes and quantity either. And the popular items also usually sell out. The popular sizes usually sell out. So I do try to look at the website just to get an idea, but even then, when I go to the store, like I said, Vancouver store is a zoo sometimes. They get so busy. Things do sell out very quickly. I ended up not seeing most of the things that I was interested in. The pop of color that I was really interested in is the pink, because I just thought that was one of the things that was nice. Oh, actually, I did see some breads as well. And I did end up getting a few things. They were more, can they even be considered ready to wear? They are clothing, so anyway, you guys will see. But yeah, most of the time I show up at my store and a lot of my size or a lot of the popular items are usually sold out. Stacyn Vu, what Hermes jewelry would you purchase next? That's a great question. I still have my eye on the same wish list that I shared at the beginning of the year. Actually, I realize I might be confusing you, because technically this year I don't have a jewelry wish list. I just wanted to play by ear, but technically it's the same wish list as last year. So I am still interested, very interested in the Kelly chain bracelet. I definitely want the diamond version. I might just pull the trigger this year. I don't know. I just feel like they'll never have an extra small, because I feel like that's the size that Canada just never orders. And that's the size that would stack the best with with my bracelet because it would otherwise always overlap. But that's on my wish list, so I might just have to pull the trigger, buy it, and then have it readjusted, or maybe just try wearing it for a while and see how I feel. I don't know, because I don't want to go through another price increase. I've been eyeing that piece for a long time, so I think it's already gone through several thousands price increase. Ugh. Sometimes I just get these moments or these period of time where I am intensely obsessed about something. So since I talked about the Kelly chain bracelet, one day I had the idea of just starting to look through some reviews of the choker version. I find the Kelly chain line to be really beautiful because no other company will do it, obviously, because it is an Hermes signature. It is basically the clasp closure of all their bags, and so they do it, and so by doing it on a bracelet encrusted with the diamond pave, it's just so gorgeous to look at because I have tried it, so I know how it looks like on. Yeah, it's hard to pull the trigger when it's not the right size. But in any case, if I were to buy one thing first, it would definitely be the bracelet first, because necklaces are fine too. I don't always have a necklace on. I go through phases, so sometimes I'll just wear a particular set of necklace. But right now I'm not wearing any fine jewelry necklaces because it's actually because I got sick, and I just, anything on my body was just giving me a lot of discomfort. At one point I even removed my bracelets actually. Anyway, this bracelet is still my favorite, obviously. But I had to remove it when I was sick because just anything on my body was just made me very uncomfortable. So good thing this one is easily removable. Next question from Carla Vichy. Hi Amy, do you still think it's worth getting the Chanel 22 in the small size? Hi darling, I am so sorry that it took me over 2 months to answer you this question because you've probably been waiting for feedback, so I'm so sorry about that, and hopefully you're watching. Your question is about the Chanel small size 22. Okay, your question is it still worth it? As I always say, it's all relative to what's worth it for you. I think if I were just to give my own opinion whether this bag is still worth it for me, as in whether I would still purchase it today, absolutely. Having said that, I do know, I don't know by how much, but I do know that Chanel did just have another round of price increase. They haven't had one since spring of last year, so we've had it pretty good in a sense that for over 1+ year we haven't had a major price increase until more recently. So again, I apologize for the late reply, but so okay, anyway, getting to my point, I know that the price has increased. It is already very expensive, so I'm not saying that it is by any means worth it for the price, but I think for me, because I do prefer new, I would still probably bite the bullet to get one, because this bag, the style especially, I hate to say this because people will take my words to, to the most extreme sometimes, but I do feel that the Chanel 22s, if I could only own one Chanel bag today, I would be happy to just have my Chanel 22s. Because don't get me wrong, I love my Chanel minis, I love my Chanel Kelly bags, like all the, classic flap, all the ones that I have in my collection, but they are not on rotation. They are just there as part of my collection. And I do wear them sometime, but not that frequently. Whereas this size especially, but this bag in general, it's always on rotation. Literally, I don't even take my things out because I'm just using the bag. So I think because of that reason, I think it's worth it. The size mini for me is even more worth it because I actually really use the mini a lot. And because I have both the black and the silver, I have a winter and I have a summer version. So right now, because it is the summertime, I'm wearing all my light color things, a lot of white. The silver has been so perfect. And so I've been constantly like, I don't really even change out of this bag. If I do, you know, I'll change out for a day, but most of the time I'm just constantly grabbing at my 22 versus, you know, this one, I do use it more in the winter time. Why? Because I love the bigger strap. And in the winter time, I have my bulkier cashmere coats, wool coats, so it's easier to go through my arm. This one would have been fine too because I can crossbody it, but this is just so chic with a bigger coat. This is also great in the summertime, but I've been loving this color. The small will definitely fit more, so I do use it a lot too on my errands day and just whenever I have more to throw inside and I don't need to think about organization. So yeah, the small and the mini are both amazing in my collection, so it is still worth it. You might want to consider if budget is really tight, because I understand that the price is really steep, of course. Nothing is cheap these days, but you can consider buying pre-loved. Now you guys know that I'm very picky when it comes to the condition of my bags. Not just the actual physical condition, but the smell. If I'm gonna buy pre-loved, it has to be someone who bought it new but never used, almost. And it has to be stored very well. So you could consider that as, but chances are if I didn't have this one, I would just save up, bite the bullet, and buy the one at the store, you know, one time. So yeah, I do think it is worth it. The next question is by Mini Footprints. Where in Vancouver can I buy the broccoli eye serum that you showed? I'm coming to YVR. So I did answer Mini Footprints because she was coming to YVR. I didn't want to leave her hanging, but I did mention that this is one of the products that I use in my skincare. This is from a local Canadian company. They do a lot of supplements and skincare, everything natural. What they specialize in is in sulforaphane, which is a compound that you find in broccoli or broccoli sprouts, and it's a very powerful antioxidant. So I don't take their supplement. Oh, I do. I started taking their gummies. I just think it tastes good. But I have been using their eye cream, which also contains, I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, it does. It contains sulforaphane and shiitake mushrooms. In any case, I wasn't really buying it because of the sulforaphane. It's just that when I was shopping for skincare many zillion years ago, and when I was converting into all natural skincare, because it's the thing that touches your skin, you absorb it right away. I also have to moisturize every inch of my body, so I try to avoid as much products that have any ingredients that are not the cleanest. I'm very conscious because anything that affects my immune system can make me very reactive, so that's why I always try to go as natural and as clean as possible. Anyway, that's the reason why I ended up, you know, just trying this eye cream many years ago, and I really liked it because I think I already tried many different eye creams in the past, and a lot of them are either too greasy or too light and never just the right consistency, until I ended up with this one. And this one is really good. At least I've been using it for years. I was just saying when I was talking about this, I think the previous time, again, I don't remember when, maybe it was during the podcast, that I have hardly any wrinkles. But recently, because of my lupus flare, I started developing a rash around my eyes. It was under my eyes and also around my eyes. And that rash is very flaky, dry, irritated, red, and just is not the typical, it's not the typical rash that people think. It's more of a immune rash, so it's not something that you can just get rid of. And anyway, my point is, because of the rash, which you can't see right now because I have some concealer on, but it has made my skin extremely dry and flaky. So I started developing wrinkles because of that. So anyway, it's not because of the cream that hasn't worked, because like I said before, I have hardly any wrinkles, very fine lines, yes, but like no deep wrinkles, anything like that. But anyway, you probably can't see anyway. So it is healing, so that's a good news. But yeah, it's been a very painful 2 months, to say the least, because it's not just the colds, it's also everything else triggering my immune system. Oh, where can you get it? So you can definitely get it directly through the company, Nuco. I buy mine directly from the company because I usually just buy in bulk when they have, let's say, Black Friday sale. So I usually wait till the sale and I buy a lot, because I also buy it for my mom. So yeah, I buy it directly through the company, but I will also link it. But if you want to buy it locally in Vancouver, they do usually have stock at Finlandia. It's on Broadway and Spruce, so they usually have stock there. Any other place, I'm not sure if Whole Foods has it, because I don't really go to Whole Foods anymore. Pure Pharmacy, they do have it online, but I don't think I saw it when I go to the Pure Pharmacy stores. Plus, every Pure Pharmacy is privately owned, so it's a franchise, but like they're still owned by different owners, so they don't really carry all those same products. But yeah, generally speaking, I just buy it direct through the company myself. The next question is from Karine from Montreal. How are you, dear Amy? Thank you for asking. I'm doing much better, as you can tell. Yeah, just so glad to be not feeling like crap anymore. But still dealing with a little bit of like the flare, but only trending up, hopefully. So thank you for asking. Tracy C, what are your most used cheap bags nowadays? Do you use them more than the luxury bags? Oh, that's a great question. One of the cheap bags that I use very often, but not more than my luxury bags. So I do try to use my luxury bags often, because what's the point of getting them if you're not gonna use it, right? So I try to use it as appropriately as possible. But whenever I use these cheap bags, it's because when I go for my walks or if I go to the gym, then I just use a Lululemon belt bag. So this is just one of the colors that I have. I have 3 different ones. So this is just a light gray color, and it's the 1 liter belt bag. I put my phone, my keys, my AirPods, hand sanitizer, and that's pretty much it. I just run out the door, and a lot of times I would just wear it around my waist, or I can also sling it. But this color I've been wearing a lot because I've been trying to wear a lot of white color. Another bag that I do use here and there, because it just depends on what I need to carry, but usually I end up taking this when I go visit my nephew and niece, because they're very young children. They're still not the most careful people, but they're so adorable, and you know, it's just fun for them to go through my bag. They like to be nosy, and so I bring this because this is just, you know, it's easy, it's wipeable, it's a nylon with a little bit of leather trim. So this is the Longchamp small size. Oh, here's a mini version too. So I would just kind of go through the Longchamp bags whenever the occasion calls for. Usually it's when I don't want to dirty my luxury bags. And then I just wanted to show you this one because I love this brand, but I have all of them tucked away. I don't want to get things messy, but I definitely use this brand's backpack a lot when I go traveling. So just if I have any sort of like excursion, if we're going on a hike or anything like that, not that we did, but whenever I do travel, I do usually travel with the sports sack. And this one is actually brand new. I bought it at the consignment store. Someone consigned this and I thought it was adorable because it was the Hawaii exclusive. And I always end up buying something at the Hawaii exclusive myself when I go to Hawaii. So when I saw this, I was like, I'm getting this because it's brand new anyway. Yeah, so this is unused. This is brand new, but I do really enjoy the sports sack. Honorable mention because I just am so impressed with the handbags that Fabrique has come up with. So I have two of them, but like yeah, both of them are really nice, but I think in terms of the one that I find the most practical and easy to get into is the tote. This would be something I would carry if I needed to go to the office and not want to be too flashy but still carry something really good quality. It does have some weight to it, obviously, because it's full leather, but it's just such a nice design because it is designed by the is it the former or is it the current Bottega Veneta designer? It's just fantastic because I saw, again, I think I saw one of Tamara's vlogs and she was unboxing a brand new, it was like a brand new, is it a tote? It was a bag. It was a travel bag. It was huge. It was a very big bag. And I think when I saw it, because it had like the same magnetic closure, it looked very much like the other version of the other Fabrique bag that I have, because it's probably from the same designer. So anyway, I just thought I would mention this one here because if you're looking for a cheaper version of a very nice bag but still looking very luxurious and you want to feel the luxury, because trust me, the leather is so absolutely beautiful. Fabrique's bags are like the two versions that I have, they're stunning. So I'm gonna link it below if you're interested. Next question and final question by Amy Chen. The top 3 cities in the world that you would travel to for shopping. It's interesting that you asked this because recently I was just chatting with one of the members, and this member lives in Europe. We ended up talking about one of the news that happened in Paris involving another Vancouverite. I think she travels between Canada and France because her husband is from France. And I believe, anyway, from what I saw, from what I understood on the clip, which was in Parisian French news, she is a CEO of a company, so she's probably very wealthy, is doing very well for herself, and she was traveling with all of her jewelry, like all of her jewelry, including her Rolex and, Cartier bracelets and rings and such. They were traveling together, her and her husband, and the train hasn't departed yet. They were in first class, and she put all of her jewelry in her handbag. It's apparently an LV bag, not sure which model, but anyway, she put underneath her seat, and her feet were touching her bag. But anyway, long story short, someone ended up going through her bag and she felt something, but by that time it was already too late. They had already taken everything, and it was worth I think 350. I think the content was worth 350,000 euros, which is painful in any case, you know, a very interesting story, very strange way of traveling with all the jewelry. I probably wouldn't have done that, and if I did have to travel with all my jewelry, I probably would handcuff it to myself or something. Probably not, but I would probably be, you know, the bag would like literally I would probably be sitting on the bag if anything. But yeah, so we were just talking about safety and how we always say that, oh, it would be nice to go to Paris and get our Quota bags there, but my friend slash subscriber said to not come, and I was just like heartbroken because the truth is I know that it's not safe, and it doesn't happen to everyone, but anyway, it's just funny that we're anyway, it's just funny because now that I see your question, it would have been a different answer if I answered it in June, but now my top 3 cities in the world to travel for shopping would be definitely 1, Hong Kong, 2, I would say Singapore, because there's a lot of consignment stores, at least the ones that I'm aware of on Instagram, and 3, I would have said Paris, or you know, somewhere in Europe. Hawaii, I guess, Honolulu. In any case, whenever I travel, it's not because of shopping. The shopping is just nice to have, and it's always good to do both, a little bit of both, because usually when I'm traveling, I'm with other people. I'm usually with at least my significant other, if not with way more people, and you just can't accommodate everyone's needs. And of course, you know, I would do my best to at least go to a place that I love and that I would want to try to get something out of, but that's not the most or the main reason why I travel. It's usually just to amass new memories and to make new memories, and to you know, cherry on top would be to get something while traveling. You know, it's always nice. But yeah, I thought that was just so interesting now that I see the question, but in 2 different timings. Because my answer would have been totally different back in June. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. I'm so glad to be back. I will definitely keep on. Yeah, you can expect my next video to be a birthday haul part 1, because I feel like there's part 2, and I don't know if there's part 3. There's at least part 1 and part 2 coming, and I will be working on them very soon. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out Flexispot, this table, very awesome, love, love, love. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.